I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks.
And that little girl was me.
Well, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Truth to Power. This is your girl, Dr. Matthews, the accountability specialist. And we also have co-host Wendell King II, who is the communication and political specialist, honey. We are here and we got some tea that we about to roll tonight. Hey, Wendell.
Hey, Dr. Matthews, how are you?
Baby, you know me, honey. I'm always stirring up some good trouble, Chad.
I've been having a little dry cough going because of the weather changing, and I want to blame it on the vaccination, but I got vaccinated a long time ago, so I got my second shot in November.
Don't you even start with them. I'm gonna tell you what you go. I'm gonna remedy right quick, okay? What you do, you get that Vicks vapor rub, put it all up under that neck and on that chest and up under the, put some socks on, and then use that Vicks vapor machine. Baby's gonna knock it out the next day. You understand?
I'm gonna have to try it because this cough been just wearing me out.
Let me find out you got the EBGBs over there and you done got the whole vaccine. Let me find out.
I know. Well, I know. I mean, it ain't that.
But that's whether though it does that, and it gets to be a little bit annoying. So and that's normally what I do when they change the weather hits the way that it does. Baby, that Vicks vapor rub, baby, I get it. I got it on right now, baby. I throw it all up in there.
See, I slept 2 days in a row under the ceiling fan, and I didn't have my face covered, and that always gets me. But
it's what it is.
Yeah, but we have so much to cover. Hot topics are, we should call it Fire Island this weekend because we are on fire. But before we do that, make sure you all check us out on all of your major podcast platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Podcast, just type in podcast, Truth to Power Uncut, and you're gonna find us.
Like and I just want to go and throw this little praise report in real quick before we get all the way started. Yeah, your girl was representing for the Black community with the Texas Democratic Party with the state of the state address rebuttal toward Governor Abbott, honey. Y'all might want to go check that out too. I'm gonna make sure I post it in the group because I represent it for us, honey. Wendell, you better tell me, baby, what I do.
You were on fire. You definitely made sure that they understood that we are not standing for it. So it was on fire, and I was very, very, I applaud you. I always applaud your efforts, but I applauded you today because what you did today was important and significant, and it was very strong coming from, yet once again, a Black woman. Black women, I keep telling y'all, Black women gave birth to this nation, and Black women will be the only ones that can heal this nation. So I will always support Black women.
And you know what? And I'm going to take that as an honor of gratitude from you by you being on the debate team, number one, and being the assistant coach of the debate team. Because first of all, if your girl didn't bring it right, I know I would have got a real nice tits.
No, you were excellent. But while we're talking about these injustices and these issues that we're dealing with, let's talk real quick. Now, I just want to give a little brush up on the Robin Hood stocks issue. So for people who may not have understood, just to give you an update on it and try and get into it, because I'm pissed off with myself because I'm not a part of Reddit. I should probably use Reddit now because I use X-Trade. But anyway, what happened was the everyday common man got a little tip off that GameStop was going to be a real great investment. And so they start killing the game with it. And as soon as they peeped that the game was being killed by a GameStop and of course Wall Street for the most part, came together and I say crashed, but it's not really crashed it, but they put a halt to it. And so once again, the little man was not able to get the biggest bang for their buck as soon as they realized it. And this is pretty much what happens all the time in stock. That's why a lot of people don't understand stocks, and a lot of people care not to get involved with stock because of those things, because you're ignorant to it, so you don't really recognize what is happening. But in this case, they were taking advantage of it. The everyday common man and woman was able to take advantage of it, and they were making some dough. But as soon as they realized it, they put a halt to it. And so the question right now, the debate is how legal versus illegal is it, what is happening. And so this is one time where I am team AOC, and some other people that I don't normally like, Ilhan Omar, a few lefties that I just normally get on my nerves. But this is one time I'm all for it. Even Ted Cruz, Bunyan built self, is in agreement with it also, that it needs to be halted.
His word ain't worth shit.
I know. But that also leads us to the school officer that slammed that young black girl. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I think it's just barbaric. I think it's just ridiculous. I think, at the end of the day, this is the foolishness that we constantly try to fight for. Is that y'all do not give a damn about black people. You don't give a damn about black females. You don't give a damn about black males. That's just what that is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And police officers need to be held accountable for the foolishness that they're doing and quit hiding behind that police union with the bullshit. And that's my thing. Like, I got a problem with that. You know what I mean?
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm like I was telling our producer, Dr. GL, Dr. Goodluck, I was telling him that it's like, I've heard this song before. We've learned this choreography before. We've cried these tears before. We've screamed that cry before. Like, when will we actually start seeing solutions? When will we actually find remedy for these issues? Because the reality is, we can talk about it until we are dead and gone, but the issue is still going to exist until somebody jumps in and take over policing.
But you know what though, Wendell? Even with the state address with Governor Abbott on last night, right? Now, he was talking about police as far as with on one side, but you're not talking about promoting the George Floyd Act and holding police accountable. You see what I'm saying? So
it's nobody wants to piss off the police union, but like you said, you hit it on the head, because the police union is really what governs our government, because nobody wants to piss them off. But the reality is, it needs to be demolished. I'm tired of this whole taking money from them and all of that. No, demolish, abolish it and start over. Give us a system that is actually created to keep everyone safe. Like, that is the oath that officers take, is to serve and give and create peace. That's supposed to be a safe space. Whenever you see a police officer, you should feel warm and fuzzy inside. Like, I feel so secure. Not like, oh my God, what are they gonna do to me just because I'm black, or just because I'm brown, or just because I am LGBTQ, or just because I am female? Like, why do we still have to have a system that is set up to hurt us and not help us? So I am with you all the way. This young black girl, we have to, these governors need to step in, and our powerful black senators and representatives, they really need to go out on a limb and fight this fight. Because it's not going to stop. We, the everyday man and woman, we don't have the ability to stop it. They do. So everyone needs to get involved with your community. Reach out to your city council. Put fire under your mayor's offices. You have to put fire, because we have to stop this. We have to stop. They have to stop not charging these officers. This officer has no fear. If a white man can kill a black man in broad daylight and he get out with no charge, or can kill Breonna Taylor in her own apartment and get no charges. So why should this man have any fear when all he did was slam a black girl down? Shit, what he did was right compared to what other people have done.
But you know what? And I know this is going to be for another show. That even falls with HPD, with Chief Acevedo. Okay. And this 52-page lawsuit that the Turtle family had filed, and allegedly he was there when they put the last shot in those people's head. So we
have to have some kind of accountability. Police officers are being given passes daily, and then people they get. I have black police officers friends and stuff, and they hate when we say they hate when you make it seem as though all officers are bad. And all of
them are bad.
But I'm one of the ones that say they are all bad. They just different types of bad. But y'all are all bad.
Not all of them are bad.
They are all bad. Let me tell you why I said they're all bad. Because if you are a part of a system that is destroying your own community, and you are going just to make nickels and dimes to pay your bills rather than standing up for what you know is right, then you are a part of the problem, not the solution. So you are bad unless you can show me receipts that you have sent up the ladder to go up protocol to police unions, to the chief of police, if you're not in the system trying to fight it, then you are a part of the problem. So no, you are bad. If you're there just for a check, that's the wrong place to go just for a check, sis. You go work at Jack in the Box just for a check. But when you're saying you're working for a system that is paid taxpayer dollars for you to protect and serve, and you are not protecting and serving, then you are doing the opposite of what I need you to do. So am I saying that all police officers are abusing the system? No, I'm not saying all are abusing the system. Am I saying that all are bad for not taking advantage of the platform that they have to try and stop it, to try and be a martyr, a revolutionary within it? Yes. When was the last time you saw an interview? When was the last time you saw an interview of a black police officer that came out and said, I'm going to be a whistleblower on my department?
I'm going to tell you right now, Wendell, you're not going to see that shit because folks got bills.
And as long as they got bills, as long as they have bills, we're going to keep reading about black girls getting slammed by officers. We're going to keep reading about Trayvon Martin's getting killed. We're going to keep seeing George Floyd laying down on the ground with his hands handcuffed, laying on the ground with a knee in his neck until he takes his last breath. As long as they have bills. At some point, you have to say, if I must die, let me not die in vain. Let me not die like a bludgeoning dog. At some point, you have to stand for something. Because it could be you, it could be your brother, it could be your son, it could be your daughter.
I concur with it. And so that's why we have to fight, even with the legislator at this point right now, to try to get these laws changed to where it will actually fit the methodology that you are speaking of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the quickest way to do that is from within.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
The quickest way to change anything is from within.
It has to be not just from within. It has to be different routes in order for this to be done.
And I'm gonna have to still we can move on because I'm gonna have to say I disagree. I disagree because you don't have the intel that they have when they're on the inside. You go by. We can go by. I understand what you're saying, but when we're dealing with other routes, then we're dealing with secondhand information. But when you are the one in the room and you see it with your own eyes, that is the person that we need to come forward.
But you know what? That actually kind of reminds me, even with the CPS situation, because a lot of the providers, you see wrongdoing shit that's happening, and you scared to say something. Mm-hmm. It takes a person like my damn self that bring that shit if you want to.
Exactly, but that's a whistleblower. Because a person that has nothing to do with nothing can't be a whistleblower. A whistleblower is someone who has direct intel that can be an eyewitness to what has happened. That's what we need. So if you are a black man and you work for HBD and you know that it's BS going and you'll talk about it in the enclosed room, but you won't come public and talk about it, you are a part of the problem. Period. Yeah. And with
And
that being said, we can move
have
on.
to agree with that. I have to agree with that because again, I can be empathetic to the situation because of how I rock when it deals with the CPS stuff. You see what I'm saying? I know your ass doing some fuck shit. So guess what? I'm not gonna sit up here and be scared. Oh, they're gonna try to do something. No, because that's why I keep my office intact. So I can.
Because you know that they will try because they know you ain't gonna keep your mouth shut.
Baby,
But guess what?
I'm the mouthpiece
You are a change agent. That makes you a change agent.
You're absolutely
You're
right.
not there just to benefit financially. You're there, you're benefiting financially, but you're doing your job and then you're going above and beyond because you're not going to allow them to take advantage of other people. So that's what we have to do. So if you go into policing, if you go into the military, there ain't been a draft in the United States since 1976. So if your ass went to the military, you should have went in for the right reasons. I'm tired of people going to these things for money. No, you need to go in for passion. You're going for passion. I would, if I'm an educator and I know the teacher next door to me is spitting in kids' faces, if I don't say anything about it, I'm just as bad as the teacher spitting in those kids' faces. You are part of the problem. But with that being said, because I don't want to keep going off on you ragged police officers, so I'm gonna move on.
Not all of them ragged because I got some kinfolk that be doing the good work. And when things don't go right, they call me and I get some moves made for them. So I gotta say that. I gotta put that clause in.
In the words of Nene Leakes, I said what I said. Now, let's talk about this Trump impeachment. Well, the Trump impeachment is done. He's already impeached. He's been impeached. But let's talk about him being removed. And people don't understand what does it look like to say he's been removed if he's no longer president. The removal is no more than the conviction. He's already impeached. Now they're looking for a conviction. With the conviction comes every part of the articles within the impeachment. So the main articles that they're trying to do is make sure he can never run for office again, stop him from getting a $200 grand a year for the rest of his life, and stop him from having $1 million budget to travel all of the United States to create insurrections again. We know that he had 5 attorneys. All 5 of them quit Friday night. The reason they quit is because Donald Trump wanted them to fight. He wanted their number one argument to be that the election was stolen from him. This man is
again.
You know, Donald Trump is not a sociopath. He's a psychopath. I used to think he was a sociopath, but he's a psychopath.
Hold on, Wendell. Wait a minute. This fool still on it again.
He's on it again. He wanted them to do and fuss with them to the point that they said, you know what, we're out.
But wait a minute.
They all quit.
Hold up. So did you hear about Mayor Giuliani?
About him being sued?
He being sued for 1.3 million, if I'm not mistaken, because he run around here saying that they did a fraud election, so it costs 1.3 million for you to tell the truth.
Well, it was the company that dealt with the ballots, the company that dealt with it is the one suing him because he slandered their company. But back to Donald Trump, but now he has 2 attorneys that jumped on board. One of the attorneys is actually from and the people who are suing Rudy Giuliani is Dominion. Dominion that's the name of the company that is suing him. But back to Donald Trump. So 5 of his attorneys all quit Friday night, and they did it in concert with each other. So then last night he announced that he has 2 attorneys now. One of the attorneys is a former attorney general for Pennsylvania. And I forgot who the other guy was, but he's a criminal lawyer. But so this is just kiki kaka, right? But the other part of this whole thing with the Donald Trump impeachment that we all need to really pay attention to is how is this going to go as far as witnesses? because this is where it gets good. Because now, unlike in January 2020, when he had Mitch McConnell and a Republican Senate majority, he now has to deal with Schumer. Mitch McConnell did not allow any witnesses. He didn't allow it because he did not want to have him removed. So he did not allow it. Schumer is allowing it. Be clear. So it's going to be real interesting to see who's called in to come and speak.
Schumer is like this.
Right. Right.
Just
right.
say,
and we know that the QAnon shaman, the guy that had the foolishness on his face when it was at the right. Well, you know, he's in jail right now. He's still in jail, and he was the one that his mommy had to contact the governor's office to try and get help because he's a vegan. And they were not feeding him correctly. White privilege is suffocating, but he was not eating correctly. And so she went through all these steps. And so then they seek assistance from Donald Trump to pardon him. And so Donald Trump did not pardon him, so they got pissy. So now he's already made it very known that he's willing to speak at the hearings, saying that Donald Trump was the person that got him excited and told him to go to the Capitol and do this. Oh yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how.
I can't wait because the whole thing about it was Donald Trump running around there and pardon two black folk that the black community want to trade for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he really feel played right now because you over there doing this here, got your shirt off, and you and all that. Boy, you looking a mess. You know what?
Well, you know, we're still dealing with Donald Trump's history is just so going to be, it's not even bizarre how it's going to go. We already know how that tale will be told. I think about Nixon. Huh?
I think they're going to nail him to the cross this time.
Well, I think about Nixon, and Nixon resigned right before he could even be impeached. He resigned, and then Ford pardoned him so that he never had to deal with any criminal act, although everyone around him went to jail but him and Ford. But the outcome of that was Ford was shunned by the Republican Party, and the Republican Party was just like they are with Donald Trump. Is the way they was with Nixon. They loved him. They worshiped him. And Nixon he was in his second term when they got him. So he had actually completed a first term and then won again. But you think about Nixon's history, and Donald Trump has already overwhelmed that. Like Nixon's story is now not even as nowhere near important compared to Donald Trump's story. History is not going to be kind. History is not going to be kind to him.
So, switching gears, the GOP lawmaker, right? He couldn't answer the research on voter fraud claims.
Yeah.
And I say that reporter ripped him to shreds.
Yeah. Well, he was ridiculous.
Like, no, sis.
Yeah, CNN is not playing with y'all these days. But it was my favorite redhead. But well, I guess my other favorite redhead, because you're a redhead right now, I forgot.
Oh yeah, baby, I'm red.
but what,
I got two cups.
But what was beautiful about that was that she gave him the opportunity. You know, when we were little, your mama said, "I'm gonna give you enough rope to hang yourself." She gave him enough rope to hang himself.
He hung himself.
He was still trying to defend this, and she started laughing.
She was deflecting, and he looked a mess. And it was to the point where the reason why she was laughing because she felt, okay, dude, you've been exposed. So you gonna sit up here and tell me this.
You're gonna look me in my face and keep lying.
I'm like, the shade.
You're gonna look me in my face and just keep lying to me in my face.
And then you didn't have no premises as to what you were saying.
And she was asking him.
Yes. Like,
she said, tell me. Give me an example.
What do you have?
Because he had already admitted that Joe Biden won without a doubt. He was never on board with that. But we do know there's some voter fraud. She said, tell me where. What was it? Explain. And he couldn't. But this is what I'm happy. I'm happy that reporters are calling them out. The problem is that a lot of Republican senators and reps are going to stop going to CNN and MSNBC, and they're going to just stay on Fox News again because they see it ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
It is holding you accountable.
Yeah, they're holding them accountable. You can't just throw it out there. After that insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, nobody is allowing people to just throw it out there anymore because we see what happened, what the outcome was. But Candace, I don't know if you remember, but all the way back in June and July, I said on the show several times, I said that y'all are concerned if Joe Biden's going to win. Joe Biden's going to win by a landslide. I said it a million times. He's going to win by a landslide. The question is going to be, what is going to happen after he wins is what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
And I also said that Donald Trump was going to destroy the Republican Party, and the Republican Party is going to deserve it because they played a game with Rumpelstiltskin. They thought that they could make a deal with the devil and get out shiny and pretty, and that's just not the way it goes.
Yeah, and I concur because that's exactly what you said. But what I find even quite interesting, this Holly seditionist, right, wrote a column in defense of the militant members in the wake of the OC, right? Yeah. And let's not even leave out Ted Cruz, Traitor Ted. Let's not leave.
I like Traitor Ted.
Yeah, baby, when I tell you, look, we did a press conference in reference to this guy because at the end of the day, dude, don't be trying to come over here and try to play with our intelligence. You had something to do. You and that Holly jackass, y'all had something to do with inciting that insurrection, because when we looked at even the video with the New Yorker, those people called y'all asses out then saying that y'all with them. Everything cool. So first of all, you don't even have any spine whatsoever, Ted Cruz. Donald Trump said your wife was ugly and you ain't said shit about it.
And said that he was not legally able to run for president, which is true. That is true. I'm still trying to figure out how he even tried to run. He was born in Canada, and you have to be born in the United States of America to run for president. So that is a question. But
and Holly don't need a fuck.
But when you think about Holly and the column that he wrote defending militias, the militia members rather, it speaks directly to what he's doing right now. So it makes it understood why he's standing with them right now, because that's really how he thinks. That's really what he feels. He really believes that this is the way to do it. That's why when I see that image of him standing with his fist out at them when he was walking into the back of the U.S. Capitol to go in that day, he literally gave them a fist pump, like saying, go get them. You know, go get their ass, because this is who he is. The opposite of a revolutionary is a militia. And so that is who he is. That is what he believes. Ted Cruz is not. I do not believe that he supports militias, these QAnons. I don't think he supports it. I think that he is sadistic. I think he is the opportunist, and I think that he is very insecure with his own political future.
I think he supported them.
I think that he just wants to be. No, he wants their votes. No, he wants their votes. He is not.
Well, how about this? That guy. Well, how about this? He tried to play politics, and it blew in his motherfucking.
Oh yeah, we blew up in all of their faces. The only difference between Mitch McConnell and a Ted Cruz is that Mitch McConnell has already had a successful run, and he's at the end. He should have retired 10 years ago. Whereas Ted Cruz should be in the middle of his political career,
but you know
and he's watching it go down the drain.
Even John Cornyn didn't get involved with that. So it was more or less like you and indicted Attorney General Ken Paxton, all y'all asses went up in there, and y'all supported the big lie. What you did.
Yeah, and it is what it is, and they're gonna get what they deserve.
And then they did a fundraiser.
Yeah, but they're gonna get what they deserve. So right now, Holly is going on this tour saying that this is cancel culture. I'm trying to block him. And I agree, it is cancel culture, and I'm grateful for it because they both should be canceled. They both need to resign. They both should be out. Ted Cruz never should have won, but he was only going against a Beto that was only speaking to blacks and Mexicans and was forgetting about white people. So that's the only reason Ted Cruz even won in the first place, is because he went against somebody who was giving all their energy to blacks and Mexicans. Huh?
Like this, they got signs on his ass. And then on top of that, baby, they got a whole revolution that's about to jump off where, baby, they going to their offices and they going live with it. Then also this organization by the name of Indivisible Houston, baby, they put coffins in his yard.
Well, we do want to say
on his hands.
Well, we definitely want to point out that we at Truth to Power Uncut do not support nor recommend that anybody goes to anybody's house or place of business and disrespect their venues, disrespect their property or their land or their building. Okay. Now you do what you want to do, but we're just telling you we don't support it and we are not saying to do it.
No,
we're just giving you the news.
What we're saying is we're just giving you the facts.
Giving you the news.
What they're doing, because they are so strong in believing that you are a seditionist, you incited that insurrection, and you about to be gone because you got blood on your hands because all those people died on your watch.
So what are your thoughts about U.S. Representative Green? I think her name is Marjorie. She's the representative from Georgia. That was a part of QAnon, that was a leader of QAnon, and now all of her tweets and everything are coming back out to bite her in the butt. But what are your thoughts on that? Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. I agree. I think that she is a trash can with no lid. I think that she is a white pig in a blanket. I think that she is just showing us who they are. She is the ultimate Karen. The way she followed that child around after his school, after he had to watch his friends be killed. And she followed him around trying to make him say that this was pretty much a made-up situation that they all created. This lady is the one that said that she thinks that Jews have some type of laser thing that raised that they are creating the fires in California. And you idiots in Georgia voted her in? Are you serious? This sadistic white whore was the one that walked outside of the U.S. Capitol right after everything happened and went live praising them for doing this, and they were exercising their rights. This is what she did. And the Republican Party is trying to say forgive and forget. Get the hell out of here. This lady, supposedly, they're still looking for the tweets because she deleted everything in her phone. She had her phone washed. But she supposedly tweeted out telling them where Nancy Pelosi was hiding at when they were in the U.S. Capitol. And the way you weak-ass Republicans want to honor her and deal with this is you put her on the education committee. You feel like Ma should be on the education committee. That's how you punish her. That's why y'all lost those seats in the Senate. That's why y'all crying. That's why Moscow Mitch sitting over there telling me he retiring. Yeah, I would retire too after I'd have lost every damn thing. That's why they thought they had killed the game when they had packed those federal courts. And then here comes Joe Biden with executive orders. And now he packing it with Democratic federal judges. Like, this is what you do. You lost everything. They love saying we gained 13 seats in the House of Representatives. Yeah, but you're still the minority. 13 seats when you were 35 seats behind, sis. Come on now. So y'all lost all three. Y'all lost all three chambers. Y'all lost both chambers, the House of Representatives and the Senate. Y'all lost that, right? They both are Democratic now. And then y'all lost the executive branch, which is now Democrat. Y'all lost it. Y'all already had lost governors. The governor of Louisiana and the governor of Virginia became Democrats for the first time in like 2 or 3 decades. So y'all are going to keep losing. As long as y'all keep holding on people like Green, because she's not a Republican in real life. Sis is more liberal than I am. She's just playing with y'all because she was over there with Trump. She was over there with Trump. So that's why they're over there and they're taking over y'all party. Y'all thought the Tea Party did y'all in. The trumpeters about to shit on the Republican Party. Now what's next? You got me heated.
Child, you was extra heated, honey. Okay, so
I'm just so sick of white. I'm so sick of white privilege. I'm sick of it. Her whole how can a villain walk in and win a state representative seat in the middle of her breaking laws?
But wait a minute. But then let's go to Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders runs for governor.
Yeah. I guess you thought about her when I said pig in a blanket.
And this is what I thought about her.
Huckabee is a Kentucky girl, but she lives in Arkansas, so she's running for governor. She announced that she's running for governor.
Trump is endorsing her.
Well, of course, Trump is endorsing her. She was his press secretary, until she finally got tired of her family getting wore out because she cried and said she resigned because she couldn't go nowhere in the city without her kids running to her crying that the kids talking about them.
Well, get ready. It's going to continue to happen, sis.
Yeah, I think former press secretary Huckabee is a fool. She's been a fool. She's not easy on the eyes. She's not a pretty girl. She's built like a 2-liter of Coke. Her hair is extra thin, lots of split ends. Her eyes are far apart, damaging even, I'll be willing to say. Her mouth kind of sits in a very stroke-like position. So, yeah, she's not going to win. If she does win, because Arizona is a blood red state also, but she's still going to be a trash can with no lid. So, yeah, sis, no power to it. If you go for it, whatever. I'm not really entertained by her.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. Well, anywho, misinformation has dropped 73% since the T man has left.
Yeah, Twitter has definitely they did lose a lot of money. Let's be clear, but people forget Twitter makes so much money. They were willing, and that speaks to what I was talking about police officers, right? This is a great example of what I was talking about with police officers. Twitter knew that they were going to lose a lot of money when they took him off for good. They knew that they were risking a lot, but they said, you know what?
Evils.
But they understood that the impacts of what he's doing are more negative than positive. So at some point, they had to say, he's not worth the money we're gaining. If we must risk losing money behind this, it's worth it. It's worth it. And look, 73% down. That's crazy.
Yeah. He was just, let me tell you something. This whole presidency with Mr. T was like a reality show. It was always something that was happening. It was like every time you wake up, like, shit, what's going on now? You know what I mean? So it's like now that this misinformation has been declined.
We have adults running the White House again, guys.
See, this is why I'm saying this specific impeachment is going to be totally different now because they got a lot of evidence on this stanky ass motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And that's what that is. They do.
Yeah, we have adults in the White House again. That's the only way I know how to say it. We have adults in the White House again. Thank God. Thank God we have adults in the White House. So Twitter is down with misinformation. Facebook reported, I forgot what their report was, but they're definitely down. And it was over 50% also. I'm going to have to look into
all of them were over 50%.
Yeah.
Instagram, they all were over 50%. And so, and I like how you said that we have adults in the White House now, which leads us to our next point, which deals with Biden's presidency. Right?
An adult in the White House.
Baby, look here. Biden is signing executive orders like a hoe about to go to jail.
And, a lot of people were talking trash, this whole unity. The Republican Party wants to beat him up. Like, well, he's supposed to be about unity, but yet they're doing all these executive orders and not allowing the legislative branch to do what they're supposed to do. Baby, let me tell you something. Just because you say you're going to unite something doesn't mean you're going to accept bullshit. That's not what unity means. And what Joe Biden has done is exactly what he said he was going to do. Every single thing he's campaigned on, that he talked about doing his campaign, he's already executed. When people doing it, when a president does an executive order, it's because they are going around the rigmarole of legislative bullcrap with the Senate and the House of Representatives. But he still has limits to what he can do executive orders on. So there is not one thing he's written an executive order on that he did not have the power to do. But as far as unity,
he said he was going to do.
Exactly. As far as unity, it's completely unified. Like everything he's doing is bipartisan. Look at what he's doing right now with they could have passed his 1.9 trillion. Like he have the votes. He have 50 Democrats that are for it. He has 2 Republicans that are for it. And then Kamala Harris is still the person that will break the tie if there was one. But he still said, you know what? I'm going to send an invitation out. And he brought the Republicans in on yesterday evening, on Monday, to sit and actually go through their plan to see how we can meet in the middle. That is unity, because he could have just did it. He could have just done it, but he said, no, let's try and make it bipartisan. That's what you do. That is exactly what you do. So y'all stop screaming unity. Unity doesn't mean give out passes, like period. It doesn't mean give out passes. If I say that I want to unite my family, that may mean that I can't invite one hardhead that ain't trying to get with the program. Because if I know your ass coming to start drama anyway, then I don't need you there. So that's not a lack of unity because I don't invite your ass. It is unity with me not inviting your ass because you're not ready to move forward. Period. Everybody about to sit at the table with you.
So what about the unity moving on and the battle with the Republicans? What is your take on that?
Well, I think that it is what it is. I think that the Republicans are reaping what they sow. I think that what goes up must come down. I think that karma comes in different shades. I think that it is what it is. For the last 4 years, they thought that they were killing the game because they were letting Donald Trump do whatever he wanted to do. Well, here is the poetry of this. This is the poetic moment. Everything they gave him a pass to do, the Democrats will use to throw in their face on why they are going to give Joe Biden the pass to do it. So this is just poetic justice. And it's just the way it goes. Like, it's just the way it goes. Y'all allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. So now Joe Biden is doing what he want to do. The difference is Joe Biden is about helping people, not hurting people. Joe Biden is about taking care of the poor, not just the rich. There's the difference. So all you make-believe Negroes that were mad, our Negro toxic men that were saying that they were for Donald Trump because he was gonna put money in their pockets. He wasn't doing it for garbage men, okay? Nothing he was doing was for anybody who made less than $400,000 a year and not family. I mean, one income, okay? So you lackluster ass Negroes that was running around saying that y'all were Team Trump because y'all were just mad because the Democrats was putting y'all black women on and not y'all, and y'all forgot that y'all mama was a black woman, your wife was a black woman, your daughter was a black woman. So you at that moment, you got nothing out of a Donald Trump presidency. You fool.
Well, their wife might not have been a black woman. So.
Well, you're right. I don't know, but you got nothing. What you haven't heard a peep from Ice Cube? Not a peep.
That's all, folk.
And then we saw exactly why Lil Wayne was rooting for him. He pardoned him.
Well, yeah, it was a business deal.
It was a business deal. I can't even be mad at Lil Wayne.
So let me ask you this. So what is your thoughts on the executive orders that President Biden signed? President Biden hold his end of the bargain, what he said that he was going to do so far. Like, he hit the ground running. Right after he put his hand on that Bible, baby, that little hair of his that he got to just stick it up, baby, that little hair was right on over there with that little pen hitting him in the borders.
Yeah, he went right inside. People forget that he got in his motorcade. They went straight to the White House and he signed 20 that day. that day. Like he was on it. I think that he's done exactly what he said. Like you said, he's done everything that he said he was going to do. My favorite, he's done some executive orders, some that I didn't care about at all. None that I disliked, but some I just did not care. But some of them I really did. One of the ones that I really love more than anything, one of my favorite ones that he's done so far is how he built so much about oil and about gas and about trying to end these he's trying to protect the environment, climate control. Like, so the first one he did was, I think it was the first or the second one, was when he got back into the Paris deal. Like, that was so important.
But the Republicans was big mad, baby. They was big mad.
But if we want a tomorrow, these are things we have to think about. And I love how his economic team is brilliant. Because as soon as they were crying, Michigan, and I want to say Montana and Texas were crying about jobs being lost if he, take away these things. He was like, no, we're bringing back almost triple the jobs because we're going to need more solar this. We're going to need so many other things because of this new move. So they're still going to have the jobs, just not doing the same thing.
You look at this too. Let me ask you this. And even when he was signing those executive orders dealing with COVID, right? Didn't Dr. Fauci look like he just had a weight lifted off of him?
Well, Dr. Fauci said it was liberating. Those were his words.
Like, finally, somebody's listening.
He said this is liberating. He didn't even have his glasses on. He wore his contacts. He said, I want to look young today. I'm refreshed. But then Dr. Birch did her interview and she called it all out. She said that there were times that she couldn't say a word. Then she said that her and Dr. Fauci got to a place that if they said something, they were risking him not allowing them to do the work later. Like, he was so petty. Like, her interview with ABC goes into detail where she was telling you what she was thinking when he said, is that, could they drink it? Like, could it kind of go through your body with bleaches? And she said that in that moment, her mouth dropped because she said in her head, oh my God, who is the president of the United States?
Satan.
So yeah, this is all just a weight lifted, but now we just have to get the work done. But getting the work done is like Kamala Harris, though, when she spoke in Virginia, and what's his name, Senator Manchin was pissed off because he said that she should have called him first before she did an interview.
She gotta call Massa before she could go and speak to the folks.
He said, "How dare she come to my state and not tell me what she gonna talk about?"
Oh, he he an OG. So my hood.
Yeah.
You let me know you here. Boy, let me make sure you understand something. She is the vice president of the United Doggone States. She don't gotta check in with nothing. Exactly. You check in with her. You better recognize what that position is, sapsucker.
And see, the thing is, a lot of people are irritating me because they're saying because it's 50 Democrat senators and 50 Republican senators that we don't want to risk it because sometimes he does vote conservative. The thing is, you can't give him that kind of power because if you tell him he has that kind of power, he will abuse it.
And he's going to manipulate it.
Right, but the reality is we have Republicans, we have more than almost 5 or 6 Republicans that have consistently voted Democrat. Mitt Romney almost damn near is independent because he just votes Democrat these days, except for when he was trying to get that Supreme Court justice on there that was Republican. So outside of that, he's voting Democrat for everything. So she is the vice president. She need to receive the same respect that a male would have received. Mike Pence did 1 million interviews, and I never saw one senator, one representative from either side go public and say, I can't believe he did an interview and did not contact me first. How dare you?
I'm going to tell you like this. You going to respect Kamala because at the end of the day, she's a woman. She's an African-American woman, and she your vice president. So guess what? If you not going to rock with what she doing, then guess what? You can catch this fade too. And I mean it. Because at the end of the day, that shit pisses me off. Okay? You gonna respect that position. You don't want to respect that position, then you can respect my gangster and get the fuck off.
Oh my God. She mad, y'all. She mad, y'all. Drop the fan. Well, Dr. Matthews, as always, it has been
I had to do that Farmwood Elementary eye roll. Remember this?
Well, Dr. Matthews, as always, it has been a joy chatting with you tonight. And guys, I just hope y'all are share, and like. Go to YouTube and subscribe, and check out all of our other check out the podcast on all the other platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify. Just type podcast and then go to work. But we are Truth to Power Uncut, and we're bringing it to you every week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're doing this because our goal is to make sure that we keep you informed and give opportunity of a greater platform to people that may not have one on their own.
And we're not about no messy ass politics. Okay,
no, we're not.
We're gonna be real, and we're gonna give it to you uncut, and that's just what that is. And then we want to make sure that you are informed, because when you do start speaking about politics, guess what? We're gonna give you the knowledge so you can be well equipped and know what you're talking about.
Well, I know you have a good juicy quote for us tonight.
I might. Okay, well, the reason people blame things on previous generations is that there's only one other choice: Doug Larson.
Well, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Because we love to blame everything on another generation. People need to remember, we love saying we're not monoliths. We're not monolithic. But when you start saying that, when you blame everything on one generation, you're making them monolithic. You're saying they all think and feel the same way. And then one day you're going to be the generation that's previous. And you're going to get blamed. Well, it's been great. Guys, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Keep your eyes peeled. Know that everything that's going on in our government goes on 365 days a year. Do not just get excited when it's time for a presidential election. Right now, there's a school board member need to be checked. There's a city council member need to be watched, and there's a mayor need to be called out. Do your job in your community each and every day. Put fire under these preachers that are getting all these nonprofit dollars and all these tithes and offerings, but doing wrong in your community. It starts there. That is how you speak truth to power. Anybody with power need to be held to their own truth.
And I digress.
Well, I will see you later, Dr. Matthews. A special shout out to Dr. GL and GL Productions that keep us tight and right. And we'll try and keep my internet right.
We love you guys.
Bye-bye. Y'all enjoy y'all night.
I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks.
And that little girl was me.